Hey guys, it's Ashley with AMJTutorials, and today I'm going to be making a basketball sweatshirt for my daughters. And the first inspiration photo that she sent me was this one right here. To the left you can see that I googled an image, a smiley face, and copy and pasted it in here. A basketball, copy pasted in here, and then I put starburst clip art and copy pasted it into Inkscape. Okay, so let's get started. Let's convert these images into a file that our Cricut can recognize to cut them. Okay, I'm going to move this over to the side, and we will start with our basketball, which is going to be the more complicated one because you can see these like shadows and different like gradients on the basketball. So we are going to convert this, because it's an image, as you can tell, it has no nodes on it, and you can tell when you select it that it says image down here at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to go up here to path, trace bitmap. On the right you're going to see the single scan and the multicolor. We're going to click on the multicolor, and then on the detection mode we're going to drop that down to colors. And then rule of thumb is however many colors the image is plus 1. But in this instance, if I said, we really see what? We see orange, black, orange and black. We see 2, so that would be 3 colors. So let's drop it down to 3. And you can see the image right here doesn't detect the black lines. It all kind of blends in together. So for this specific image, we're going to have to bump it up until we can see those black lines. So that's 4. So we're going to have 4 scans, and then we're going to click the box remove background. We're going to apply it, and we're going to drag it over. And then we're going to select this image, the one that we don't need, and we're going to delete it just by clicking the delete button on our keyboard. Okay, so this is the one we're working with. And if you look down here at the bottom, it says group of 3 objects. So there's 3 layers in here, okay? So we're going to ungroup this to work with only the layer we need, which is the black outline of the basketball. Okay, so we're going to Control Shift G, and that will ungroup all those 3 layers. So we're going to pull those layers off, and we don't need any of these. And I am just highlighting these with my mouse and clicking delete. And then this is the one we're going to work with. Now, we don't need this down here at the bottom, and then you can see this outline down here gets a little thick. Now, we're going to fix this. Okay, first we're going to go over here to the left and click on the nodes, and it's going to highlight like this. Tells our Cricut we wanted to cut this. Well, we don't want that, so we're going to right click on the mouse and highlight a box over all of those and hit delete on our keyboard. Okay, now we just need to make this basketball line thinner. So let's select it, and I'm going to hit the number 3 on my keyboard to zoom in on it. And then you can tell that this image is not perfect. You see these little points sticking out, these little humps over here. This will be the pattern that your Cricut cuts. So we're going to clean that up. Let's click the nodes, and let's start down here where this thick out. We're going to make it thinner, okay? So let's get a little closer, and we're going to click the plus button. We're going to get a little closer, and we're going to start deleting all these nodes that don't make sense. Okay, so right click on your mouse and draw a box around the nodes that don't make sense and hit delete on our keyboard. Okay. Okay, that was a little wonky. I can fix that, but let's try deleting the other one. So let's undo what we just did by hitting Control Z, and it'll take you back. Let's try deleting this node. Okay, that was a little better. Okay, let's move this node over and we're actually wanting it down, right? Okay, and you can take just click on here and move this down. Take these little arms and okay. And I think that looks good. Let's move over to the next. And let's remove all the nodes that really don't make sense first. Okay. That one. Let's remove that one. And then let's pull this node down. And then let's pull this node down. And then we'll delete that one. You just play around with it. We might have to go in and adjust it here in a second. Okay. I'm going to add a node to this one, to the corner. And I'm going to double click it. And you see how it popped in a node right there? Now I'm going to drag this down. And then I'm going to delete those. Just so they had a corner. And then I'm going to drag this one down. And delete that. I probably can delete that. All to the next one. And it all really is just practice. As you keep doing this, it'll just get easier. Okay, let's minus out of there and see what it looks like. See, that doesn't look too bad. I know this right here is a little pointy. And to make this bubble, you can hit Control Shift and make it bubble out, but that looks too bubbly to me. So I'm just gonna Control Z and hit it back. This is my daughter's shirt, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it looking like that. But I am gonna clean these nodes on the side up. Just by highlighting those, and that. Okay, that looks cleaner. Then let's just see if there's anything else. This little thing bothers me. I think I can delete that. Okay. Okay. All right, so we've got the outline of our basketball. Okay, see, their line kind of goes on the top, so I'm going to rotate it by clicking it one more time and then rotate the basketball this way. Okay. I'm going to make it bigger by hitting Control Shift and then clicking on the arrow and dragging it out. All right, now we're going to color in the basketball. And if you notice that the image on the right, the inspiration image, is distressed, meaning it has all those little like white holes in it or whatever, I'm cutting my daughter's shirt out of vinyl, so I can't distress it. I'm not sublimating it, I'm using vinyl. So let's color in, let's fill in the basketball. I'm gonna go over here to the left and hit the paint bucket. And I'm gonna pick the orange. And I'm gonna zoom in as close as I can and fill my colors. And as we go, we can see a small border along the edge, and I'll tell you how to get rid of that. And that's another thing. Sometimes if you get in too close and it's not the full, your area that you're filling is not in the whole thing, it will cut it off like that. So let's Control Z and let's try that again. Let's see if it works there. See, it'll work there. Let's see if this one works. No, see, it cuts it off. So yeah, you just got to be careful. Let's Control Z and undo that. And then let's go back through and fill the rest. Okay, we've got them all filled. Now let's select them all. We hit the selector tool on the left, and we're going to hold the Shift key and click all of our orange fills. And we're going to union them together so when it cuts out as one. Okay? Now, to get rid, let's zoom into our image by hitting the plus key on our keyboard. To get rid of all these little white lines, because once you put it on a shirt, you're going to see through that. So I'm putting it on a gray shirt, you're going to see gray underneath all of those. We don't want that. We are going to take the bottom, the basketball image, the outline, and we're going to, let me put this, bring that over. Select it, and we're going to go to Path, and we're going to go down to Break Apart, and then Path, Union. So now when we put this basketball on there, you don't see any white lines. We're going to center these up for right now. But let's right click and drag a box over the basketball and the fills. I'm going to Control Shift A, and it's going to do the Align and Distribute panel right here on the right. And we're going to center it on the vertical axis, and then we're going to center it on the horizontal. So now they're centered. Okay, so now we've got our basketball. Let's group those together. Control G, and that makes them just one as a group so they don't move around. Okay, let's put that to the side and let's convert these. Okay, to convert the smiley face, we're going to go to Path, Trace Bitmap. The colors is, when it's a black and white image, we always do 2. Remove background and apply. Drag our image. If we're confused at which one is which, you can see down here at the bottom it says Path, and then this one here at the bottom says Image, and we're going to delete the image and keep the Path. Okay, we just want the eyes and the mouth, so we're going to delete the circle outline, and we're going to go over to the left and click the nodes, and we're going to highlight by right clicking and drawing a box and just deleting the nodes of the outline. Oh, it gets a little silly. Okay, so now we have the face. Now, when I put the face and it goes behind my image and I want it in front, I can click the Page Up button on my keyboard and it brings it to the top. Let's put our basketball over here on our inspiration page or picture and kind of size it up. So Control Shift F and bring the opacity down so I can see where they place smiley face, and it looks like they have bigger eyes, and the eyes are easy to make. So let's get rid of the eyes and make our own eyes. Let's go over there to the left and bring up the nodes, and let's just delete the eyes and keep the mouth. Now let's go to our circle on the left and hit Control Shift and then drag a circle or oval, and let's make it black. Our opacity so down, put it to 100. Let's zoom in and then minus key to zoom out, and then Control Shift, and we're going to pull that back in. Let's do this one. Okay. Okay. And then let's duplicate this eye and put it over here. Okay, now to make sure that they're lined up and they're centered, let's Control-Shift-A. Select both of the eyes by holding the Shift key, selecting the other eye, and centering them up on the horizontal axis. Okay, so those are centered. Now let's go up and path and union those together. And then let's make sure that our eyes and our smiley face is centered. And we'll center it on the vertical. See, they were a little off. And we'll path and union those. And then let's make sure our face and our basketball centered. So it's just a little off compared to theirs. Now let's pull this image off. Let's bring the opacity back up, which Control-Shift-F for the fill and stroke, and then down here at the opacity, let's click 100%. Okay, I think they didn't have theirs centered because it lined up on that. It's kind of a thinking process. So when you want to cut this out, I'm going to have the black circle underneath, then I'm going to have the orange basketball fill on top, and then am I going to want to cut out the eyes and the mouth and lay it on top of the orange, out of the smiley face out of this orange. Okay, and we grouped together this basketball. So let's ungroup that. Control-Shift-G. And we're going to select the smiley face and then the orange fill. And we're going to go up to here to path and to difference. So what it did was it cut out the face in the orange, so when you lay it over top the black, it's the smiley face. So now you just have two things that you're working with. Okay, let's center those back up. And we'll group those together, which is Control-G. And let's put them in the center. Our starburst. We're going to go up here to Path, Trace Bitmap. It's just black and white, so it's 2. Remove background and apply. And we're going to delete this. And then let's bring our inspiration over. And we can duplicate these by Control-D. And we can flip them so they're not all the same way. And then we can come in here and delete the big one and just use the little ones. Okay, now we need to write game day and vibes at the bottom. We're going to hit the text tool on the left and write game day, and then we'll write vibes down here, all in capital letters. And then we're going to highlight the text, and I'm going to pick Azar, and I think it comes with your Inkscape, downloaded in your Inkscape. If it's not and you have a different text that you want to use, you can go, I have a video, if you haven't watched and you don't know how to download text, you can go to defont.com and download, and if you have, I'll link that video explaining how to download fonts in the description. But anyway, so we're going to use Azar text, and we're going to curve this text. So we're going to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to go to path and object path, make it a path. And then we're going to go to path, and we're going to go down here to path effects, and it's going to pull it up here on the right, and you're going to use this little drop down arrow and come down here under the distort and bend. We're going to click on the nodes, and let me get closer. so you can see. I'm using the plus button on my keyboard to move closer. And we're going to click the nodes, and you'll see this little green line, and it's going to give you the option to click on that green line and move it upward and bend it however you like. So let's select it here on the left and bring it down. And then let's get back on the bend, and we can take this little node and bend it in. We can bring it out, and we're just gonna play with it a little bit to get the bend just right. Kind of look and see. Here's the font. Turn it into a path by going to Path, Object to Path, going to Path, Path Effects, drop it down to the bend. Let's get closer and click our nodes, and now we're just going to pull it down. Okay, and then let's pull it up, and let's pull it out. Okay, now let's Path, Object Path, Union, Path, Object Path, Union. Let's make sure everything is centered. The black, the game day, and the vibes. So we're going to select them by we hold down the shift key and selected all of our black images except the stars. And we're going to Control Shift A and center them up. Okay, so those are centered. Now we're going to Path and Union those so our Cricut will cut those out all together. Now let's put all of the stars together. Let's union those stars, Path, Union, and then let's union these stars, Path, Union, and then let's union the whole thing that's black, Path, Union. So this will cut out as one, and then you'll have this that you layer on top. Let's delete that. Okay. Now let's save it. So we're going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it in my documents. I'm going to save it as Game Day Vibes. And I'm going to make sure I save it as a plain SVG. And I'm going to save it. If you have any questions on today's video, or if you have an image that you would like me to demonstrate, please send me an email or comment below. I would appreciate any feedback. I hope you have a great day and happy creating. Bye guys.